Well, welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave, back for the evening session as the daily close comes ever so close. Just 1 hour away is when I like to record these videos, because typically you do see a lot of price action, jockeying for position for both the bulls and the bears to kind of take control of that daily dollar close. So we got plenty to talk about today as Bitcoin in $1,000 range. I mean, this market is so fucking lovely for a trader. Volatility left, right, and center, and that is why we love it, even during a massive consolidation area phase, which, yes, I still do think that this is just one massive consolidation. Still offer up the opportunity for that, which is just the magical Bitcoin in and of itself. So without further ado, I do want to wish you a nice little Monday? Yeah, hey, have a nice Monday early evening or early Tuesday morning if you're over there in the European sector. And always wishing the best, the happiest of the happiest. I'm going to initiate that good old teleportation because I don't want to waste any more time. Again, the name of the game is keep these videos on the shorter side, which Krown is terrible at fucking doing. Sorry about that. But I do want to start off with my derivative account running over here, and I want to show that, again, with the last couple of days of price action, when I kind of like let go of that immediate bullish short-term bias, at the same point in time, it's not that I want to go short. I really do have a difficult time with getting bearish on this market right now. It's not the most appropriate thing to be doing. After 6 months of uptrend, I'm going to be running with the former assumption, essentially, of trend continuation until we actually get a full-on, like in your face, no, this ain't happening anymore. And so if I am going to play any sort of a downside, if I want to have any sort of short exposure, I'm going to do it with options. So I got a lot of messages on my last, on my last couple of videos, basically asking me how I do this. And this is essentially how I did it right here on my streamer account. Pretty damn small positions overall, but even with these small positions, I mean, they actually generate some decent P&Ls. I mean, this is, I have like maybe about 30 accumulative, 40 accumulative contracts here. I'm running about 0.6 Bitcoin profit P&L right over here, as you can see. And my theta is like fucking astronomical. I mean, my theta is literally about over $2,000. So that's $2,000 every fucking settlement period. And this is why I love options. Create a nice little range right here between about 11,500 and 10,500 to the downside. Very easy to cover on both ways. And I am starting to get the itch to get long once again. So what I'll end up doing is I've already taken profit on a lot of these 11,500 strike calls. I will take profit on more as the day progresses. But I am starting to switch around to looking at this as likely being a trap. So without further ado, let's get into the actual charts right here. Let's start off with the daily because I did forget to do this. And let's go over here to Bitstamp. And as you can see on the daily on Bitstamp, Bitcoin's rallied up all the way from the green 50 exponential moving average, basically back towards the yellow 21. Now, officially speaking, my strategy does not let me really trade alongside for a trending play as long as we're below the daily 21. And as you can see right here, we're still being held below it, but this is a major pivot on the market. So I would go as far as saying that, hey, if you do see Bitcoin reclaim the daily 21 exponential moving average, I would say that the last 24 hours of price action is 100% not a good terminology, but extremely likely to be a bear trap, and likely that we do head onwards and upwards back up towards 12,000 plus and felt this range a little bit more, and this just morphs into a flag essentially. So for right now, Bitcoin very resilient, and I have to really remind myself that my ideas yesterday, even though I was wrong in the short-term direction yesterday, which 100% want to be open and honest with that, and of course and more importantly, when I am wrong on that, do I still make money? Yes, that's the whole thing, man. That's the whole thing. It's what I want to show. My opinion is irrelevant to me making money. The options are the magic ingredient. But going back on over here to the daily, even yesterday when I was when I was wrong on the short-term direction, when I was looking at the 4-hour 200 exponential moving average and 200 simple right here as providing support, looks like we actually just had a little quick downside move below there and then pop right back on up. I mean, this to me looks like a fucking bear trap, man. It looks like a fucking bear trap. It acts like a bear trap. Technically speaking, though, it's not until we get back above that daily 21 exponential moving average, which is right around about 11,100-ish region. Let me actually confirm this. 11,120. So 11,100 to 11,200 region, anywhere within there. If we can get back above there, reclaim that on a daily or even a 4-hour total close of about maybe like 11.2, I would say that is bear trap confirmed. And yes, 12,000 will be a target after that, and probably beyond. But for that's obviously not going to happen at the snap of fingers. But my point is going back on over here into the GDAX chart on my fresh chart. Let's actually put on a 4-hour total time frame right here. There we go. Okay, beautiful. So yeah, if Bitcoin does does hold this area right here. It is sloppy. It is ugly. It is nasty. It's not the most picture perfect. It's not the picture of fucking perfect here by any stretch of the imagination. And for a lot, in a lot of ways, I could say that I'm very much making up excuses for price action. We came all the way down to the 886 Fibonacci tracement right here on the ultimate high to the ultimate low of this consolidation. Let's actually go to it. I think I plotted this on a 6 hour, maybe. Yeah, a 6 hour. You do see it actually did hold up above the 6 hour 200 exponential and 200 simple. I'm going to be presenting some bearish things as well, but first I want to start off with this, and essentially, yes, you do see the 618 coming in right around about that 11,200ish region as well. So we have a lot of things confluent with 11,200. Not only is it the 618 Fibonacci retracement, it's also the daily 21 exponential moving average. It's also this horizontal right here, and also of great importance, if we go over here to CMEs, we do see we have a nice gap in price action, and if we go over to the daily, you can very easily see that CMEs actually already closed for the day, by the way, and they actually did close as a nice hammer dildo. That is a bull wick if I ever saw one, and basically fill the gap, right? And where is the gap coming in around? 11,200. So I really do like that these two factors are confluent with each other. In fact, we do see CMEs pretty much parity with spot right now, and it's quite early in the month, we still got a couple of weeks, so this is quite rare that you actually do see this going on at this time, in the relation to the month for the front running month. But with regards to that, to me, that 11,100 to 11,200-ish region is such a massive pivot. If we get back above it, I'd feel very confident with saying that this is, extremely likely to get back up to the $12,000 plus region. There's going to be shorter term time frame targets. Let's actually talk about that right now, just as like a little bit of a plotting in advance. Go to a 2 hour perhaps. Yeah, and so this is the trend line, or sorry, this is not the trend line. Let's go back to GDAX. There we go. This is the trend line in question right here. We can actually lower it just a smidge. And, if we get back above this area right here, I'd be looking at a short-term target of about 11.7 to 11.8, and in a little bit more medium-term target back up, actually a little bit north of 12,000 at about 12,100 to 12,200 in this kind of pocket right here, actually, if we could make a nice little range and put a nice little blue box in there as well. Just like we kind of have one to the downside right around here. Something like this is actually what it's going to look like. But both these ranges kind of operate in the same way. And in the medium point right here, judging like the more interim bias, if you want to call it that way. So when we broke to the downside below 11,200, it was appropriate to be biased to the downside once again. Well, we didn't actually end up making any lower lows right here, as you can see, between this point and this point. So it is, it still technically is making higher lows. That's the problem with it. That's what makes it so difficult right here, and why triangular consolidation can be very, 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 very frustrating for trend traders, of which I do not consider myself. I consider myself an options trader first and foremost, so I don't really think about trends to begin with. But I will hold spot analyze and then use options to kind of manage it if I do find myself in one of those positions, which perhaps might be going on right now. So I will exercise a little bit of caution here. I probably will end up going long a little bit. But I really want to wait for this area to get taken out of first. If this area can get taken out, then yes, I'd feel a lot more confident going long and looking for price targets. Again, 11.7 to 11.8 first target, and then about 12.1 to 12 for really the second target in this range right here. And then overall, this area filling itself out. I think it's appropriate to also remind myself that the volume signature on this is still that of consolidation, and that's why I really had a difficult time getting bearish this morning, and why I didn't want to be bearish this morning, and why I feel justified in not being bearish this morning. Again, this is coming from someone who's called a fucking perma bear during all of 2018. And yes, I was a perma bear during 2018 because it's great to be a fucking perma bear in a bear market, just like it's great to be a perma bull in a bull market. I mean, a dumb bull is going to make a lot more money than a smart bear in a general upwards market, and vice versa for a downwards market. The idea is not to get stuck in the fucking gangs. It's to be like a mercenary, just choosing the side that's more likely to win. So it's a little bit dirty, but hey, there's no rules anyways. And of course, at the end of the day, this game's tough enough, so might as well, might as well take what you can get. But yeah, looking at this, we do have that nice orderly drop in, off in volume going on right on over here. So that tells me that this is likely one massive consolidation. If we go over and check out the historical volatility percentile, you do see that it is kind of having that nice orderly drop off as well, which to me is indicative that, hey, we still are consolidating. If we're still consolidating, then this is to be interpreted first and foremost as a bullish consolidation, because we're still creating higher lows. We came off of an uptrend, so it's symmetrical triangle, which is technically an equal opportunity pattern. But because we came off an uptrend, there will be a slight statistical advantage in looking for continuation of trends. So it would would align with more bullish continuation. But more importantly than anything, I feel like I can very easily be misheard when talking about this sort of a thing. At the end of the day, I'd just be playing ranges here. I'm not looking to, hodl anything as long as we're not trending. I mean, it's still dead money. And when we're ranging, I mean, that's the best time for options. So like I said, I'm going to be in the process of closing my 11,500 strike calls and take profit on those. I think anything more than what I got right now is probably getting greedy, especially when I'm bullish on Bitcoin, right? To be fair, I'm bullish on fucking Bitcoin. We're heading into the daily total close, and it wants to go up. Again, the bulls and the bears are jockeying for position right here, and the bulls want to take control. I mean, shit, if we actually do close today's daily dodo above the 21, I would be shocked. It would be a very strong signal, but I'd immediately get long off that. I don't think that we do. I think that we probably close it a little bit below, but it's going to set it up for tomorrow most likely. Anyways, I'm looking at my phone right now, and there are all sorts of big market buys going on in the market, and we're back above 11,000 once again. So welcome back to 11,000, my friends. Let's all join hands and sing Kumbaya and pray to our Lord and Savior, Bull Jesus. Bull Jesus, give us our praises. We come here for your daily dildo, green dildos of massive girth. Please supply us with these, for we have sinned and believed in bearish bungholes. No, never again. Just kidding. Just saying all sorts of dumb shit. Hey man, I'm just fucking trading magic and money at all hours of the day. This is what I do for a living. You can't blame me when I say dumb shit, you can't get mad at me. And if it bothers you, well, fair enough. Maybe not the best channel for you then. But for all of those who do believe, for a true bull Jesus believer, you have come to the right place, because we do certainly believe in all sorts of Jesuses, both bullish and bearish Jesuses, but most importantly, go Jesus. Anyways, looking at this right here, if this does shape out, what is it going to morph into? It's going to morph into a fucking flag is what it's going to do. I mean, again, I should take everything off here just because this chart's a little bit too convoluted. But if you're looking at the daily, what's going to happen if we confirm a low here, which is pretty damn close to happening, basically kind of a descending broadening wedge. It's sloppy as fuck, but it works. If we go over to our 2-day, you're going to see the 2-day has a massive girthy bullish wick being picked up upon the yellow 20 exponential moving average, and this will be closing tonight at in about 53 minutes, as you can see. So that's less than an hour away from being confirmed. I mean, this looks fine to me. It looks good. We do see 2-day RSI just also in between the bullish control zone and the neutral zone. Again, I still have to look at this consolidation as I can't look at it as bullish isn't the right term, but I can't look at it as bearish just yet. 3-day, are we ending a 3-day, or did we do that yesterday? 3-day is going to be coming up towards resistance. So a 3-day 10 simple staring us right in the face. So I would be a little bit careful with getting too bullish here. I need to see this. It's likely that we do reject off this area on the first pass. So we're probably going to put in a little bit of time is what I'm trying to say. Anyways, let me just make sure that my phone is all well and good. I do want to make sure that my main account has taken care of its positions, just because, well, that is my priority now, isn't it? Okay, come on, baby. Come on, get back up there, you little fucker. You little dirty Bitcoin, you. There we go. Anyways, let me just make sure. Yeah, I can see that my video is still very much blacked out. I should be able to fix this by end of week, and really, really appreciate all the people who've been reaching out. By the way, if you do know how to mount a GoPro, because it doesn't look like it mounts on like a regular video camera thing, please let me know, because I have no fucking idea, and it's really annoying to use. Because I want to be sorry, and I should also specify I can't put it in like the little casing where it has like that built-in mechanism to kind of keep it in place, because I need to be able to access the micro HDMI port. So it needs to be outside of it. How the fuck do I mount this bitch? How the fuck do I do that? Anyways, enough about that. You probably don't give a fuck about that. Let's talk about the goddamn charts. And looking at daily back on Reddit over here, I think it is quite important to say as well that, hey, looking at daily RSI, we've actually rejected the getting into the bearish control zone very, very sharply right here. Not only that, but if we go back to the 12-hour, it's very important to say that first things first, we did have this guy right here, and let me just delete all these guys once again. We did have this nice hammer. Jesus! Fucking Christ. What's up, Daniel? Good to meet you, man. We did have this this hammer dildo being put in right here. And then more importantly, this is a good example of setting in a local low. A lot of people ask questions about this, but you put in a hammer dildo, that's ingredient number one. That's going to get you started, but it doesn't get you all the way. Once we actually take out the high of it on this next dildo right here, that's when it gets confirmed as a local low, and we get to initiate a move up much higher. More importantly, though, if we bring up our oscillators once again, we do see 12-hour Stokes haven't even crossed up to the upside, and more importantly, 12-hour RSI is giving giving us massive hidden bullish divergence here between this point and this point. We're making lower lows on RSI and higher lows on price action. Sorry, massively lower lows on RSI and higher lows on price action. So bears are trying harder, but getting less of the way than they did before. And so that tells us that bears will lose momentum in this consolidation. And I do like to use hidden divergences during periods of consolidations. I don't like the hidden varieties of divergences when you're trending, but when you're in a consolidation in the overall side of the macro trend, those ones seem to work out pretty damn well in my experience. The ones that go against macro trend, no, those ones typically suck and typically don't play out and end up turning into regular divergence going the opposite way. And then people are like, hey, what the fuck, man? I read about this one on Investopedia. Now I'm wrecked. How could that be? I've been trolled by the internet once again. But anyways, yep. So, to me, we're basically hitting that first target. So to follow up from this morning's video, I think my first target during this morning's video was right here at about 10.7. We hit that relatively easily. And then this next target, about 11.100 to 11.200 would be my next target. Keep in mind that will be gap on CMEs. And more importantly, that's kind of the big pivot for myself. So if we do get above that area, I do switch to short-term, medium-term bullish, looking for the top of the ranges to probably get stabbed at. And I will start some longs once again. And more importantly, do I think that's going to happen? Crown the fucking perma bull, saying it again, but yeah, I think it probably does happen. The reason why I say it happens though is because first and foremost, I look at this as likely a bear trap right here. The reason why I say that is because we briefly dipped below the purple 200 exponential moving average and the white 200 simple. So I could also go as far as saying, hey, don't take my opinion on that. My opinion, as you've seen, is fucking worthless. It's garbage. It doesn't mean anything. But what I can say from a technical analysis standpoint is that, hey, as long as we're above this region right here, I run with the assumption that this is actually just a bear trap. If we go back down below, then yes, we probably do revisit the mid to low 10,000s, like 10.3 to 10.5 region. But I'm not really leaning towards that happening. The reason why I'm not leaning towards that happening is because all of our lower time frame oscillators are agreeing with each other. We see 4-hour Stokes having a fresh cross the upside, pretty much getting out of the bearish control zone. The last crosses have been pretty damn good for the bulls. The last one that we had, even right on over here on the 12th, leading up for this price action for about $1,000 almost. And the time before that, obviously a lot better, right on over here from about 11.4 all the way to 13.3. And the time before that, right on over here from about 11,000, well, basically to, another $1,000 move relatively soon. And then obviously on top of that, we do have the 3-hour Stokes crossing as well. Of course, if the 4-hour are going to be crossing, so are the 3-hour. But my point is that we see all of them kind of align at the same time. So even yesterday, when I was presenting what we were looking at here, they hadn't crossed just yet. And we were seeing them all kind of line up, the 1-hour through 4-hour. And usually when I see all these guys line up, good things do happen. And now we're kind of seeing this move follow through. So very, 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 very short-term resistance. Again, 11,200-ish region right here. 11.1 to 11.2 is kind of like all riddled with resistance, if you want to call it that. I should go. What is the highest time frame? Or sorry, the highest time frame with the freshest cross on Stokes? We do see 6-hour to the upside. What about 8-hour? 8-hour up. What about 10-hour? 10-hour up. 12-hour. 12-hour, the next one to follow. So 12-hour is pretty damn good as well. And more importantly, with Bitcoin kind of setting in a local low here, initiating some hidden bullish divergence, I would say this is likely to cross on to the upside. Why is this important? Why do I talk about this? Because I think that this is going to give us the fucking momentum to break that 11,200-ish region. That's why. That's fucking why. And more importantly, the crosses on both sides have been really, really good. The cross to the downside, even such called the downside movement right here. The last cross to the upside was right here on the 3rd of July, which was during this dip, again for the next $2,000-$3,000 move. And then the last cross to the downside was right on over here, and the last cross to the upside, or good one, was right on over here at about 8,200. So I really do like these ones, and more importantly, as Bitcoin does pick itself back up off the lows, and we are getting close to this one, following through, you have to look at all of them kind of aligning, right? And they're all having confluences into the next one, and would say that it's pretty likely that we do see continuation overall. We probably do break that next level, so I would say that heading into the deeper 11,000s and probably 12,000s over the next over the next few sessions, probably likely. But of course, at the end of the day, the name of the game is consolidation. And for full disclosure, I would change my bias on that if we do head back down below 10.7 right here. If we actually close a 4-hour doodle below there, but as you can see right now, we've regained it. We've reclaimed the white 200 simple and 200 exponential moving average, and now we've actually retested it and rallied off that, and now we're taking out the 21. I like what I see here. Is if you can't. if you can't if you can't read between the lines, again, I think that this is a fake out right here. I really do. Yes, structurally speaking, you probably didn't want to see 10-7 break, which is what I was looking at yesterday. Can it break and come back up? Yes, it will happen during very nasty traps. And this is another great example of don't trade the fucking news. Oh my God, I see so many people concerned with the news. The news. What is the news going to say today? Any news? But why don't you tell me more about the news? How about some more news over here? Give me more of that news, please. Well, the motherfucking news squirrels should be aware by now that they released the news somewhere right on over here. The news that Trump doesn't like Bitcoin. It's like, what the fuck? Who gives a fuck? It's like it doesn't even really matter. He basically made comments on Libra of Facebook's cryptocurrency, not really Bitcoin all that much. More importantly, now we get to have a little bit of a trap during the weekend, of course, and what happens after that, we get to punish the bears once again. So both sides really are getting punished that are looking for the big trade for the last few weeks. Both, and keep this in mind, more often than not, things are just ranging, not trending. We've gotten very spoiled with the last 5 months of price action being mostly to the upside, although a few consolidations here and there. But more importantly, looking at this, you can see very easily that the best position for the last few weeks has been one of a scalper. Just basically trading ranges, which is what I hope to first and foremost prioritize during these sorts of videos. And that's my preferred way of trading anyway. So again, to kind of summarize it all up, all momentum oscillators look like they're up right now, or turning up, or freshly crossing up, and all of them having some pretty damn good confluences. We see 12-hour hidden bullish divergence. We see the lows still holding. We also see, even if you are, I don't know what the right word I want to use is for this, but basically, if I take a bullish retracement on this, you can see that the Fibonacci's are lining up with these pivots as well. And more importantly, the last low was put in right around the 886. Of course, the 886 is not going to be on your default tool. It is a Fibonacci number, but and it does get played in cryptocurrencies. I do see it get played in cryptocurrencies. It does imply that it is a little bit weaker overall. You don't really want to see things retrace that far down, but more importantly, it's lining up nonetheless with this horizontal level right here, and so I do like that. We can see that the 618 is coming around that 11,200ish pivot. So 11,200 pivot aligning with the 618, aligning with the gap on CMEs, aligning with our structural breakdown right here from Saturday, Sunday. And more importantly, if we get back above that region, I would be looking at a move back towards likely the 0.5 at about 11,750, 11.8, and we'll have a nice little resistance right here. And if we get above this region, I'd probably be looking for a move back up over towards 12.3. And Fibonacci's are pretty damn good during actual during consolidations. They give you a very good insight of what the bots and algos doing, because a lot of the time the bots and algos would just be saying, hey, if I'm going to buy the 618, I'm going to sell the 382. If I'm going to sell the 236, then I'll be buying the 786 or the 0.5. It depends what their strategy is, but right now we can see a little bit more of an aggressive move to the downside. I do identify this likely as a hunt, likely as a trap, just based off of kind of what we're seeing right here. I would not be looking. I would not be on the side of the bears for this as like a full-on breakdown. I think that there's so many people waiting for prices down around here, and everyone's still talking about 8,500. It's just. I think it's less likely right now. I think it's less likely. I would be back on the side of the bears. I never really joined the side of the bears. It's the wrong terminology. I was just not with the bulls for a little bit of time. But I would lose the bulls once again. I'm technically not with the bulls yet as well. I need to get back above this region right here. It looks fucking likely to me though. I'll tell you that. More importantly, I'll kind of go on the more bearish bias side. If we do head back down below this region right here, especially first warning shot would be breaking the 200 simple or 200 exponential right around 10.7. If we do that, that's a first major warning shot being fired. It's a damn good indication, but not necessarily going to get us all the way there. And then full on confirmation would be any sort of a move back down below 10.2 to 10.3. Any sort of a move back down below there very like that we do initiate a move back down into the 4 digits, and like deeper 4 digits, like 8,500 is a strong possibility at that point in time. This whole formation here, because we have now confirmed a local low and are rallying off it, we do get to make another measure move based off of it, and it works both ways, to the upside and the downside. To the downside, it actually would be pointing much further down, about 7,100. By the same token, we can point that to the upside, and of course, this would only be if we actually do confirm either below this region right here at about 10,150, or above this region right here at about 12,700 actually. And if that were to happen, then I would be looking at a move basically almost to 16,000, so 15,700-ish region. Remember, this is well and far away from happening. We're nowhere near either one of these, really happening right now. I want to be very direct in saying that. So I don't want to cause any sort of FOMO. I just want to show the implications of what we're looking at right now, and kind of judge what's happened on the lower time frames here. I do think that this is, this was confirmed, as a trap the second that we got back above that white 200 simple. Yes, we did slice through it like a fucking cheese on the way on the downside, but to kind of just redraw it back up to the upside, I do think that this is strength, and I do think that was a trap based off the news, kind of to drag the retailers in, do the fear once again. And what do we also see on the crypto fear and greed index? We're taking out a 16 right now. We're taking out a fucking 16, man. I mean, this market got so fucking fearful. These are levels that we haven't seen since deep in 2018, really. And even during 2018, like a 16 read would be extreme. We only got below 16 read a couple of times. So Bitcoin coming all the way down here, likely gonna be, likely gonna bounce off this region. So that's what we're seeing right now. I do feel justified in kind of following up from the from the morning stream and saying the dreaded words target hit and all that bullshit. I don't mean to say that to sound arrogant or anything like that. I say that so that we can follow up and be accountable, at least for myself, not for anyone else. And more importantly, of course, it's not financial advice, and I'm financial advisor, but I do want to, show exactly what I'm doing, be transparent with it, and yes, I probably will end up. I'm chomping at the bit to fucking buy right now, man. It's very difficult for me not to, looking at this, but I will hold on. I will hold on to my guns and wait for full-on confirmation. I think it is still quite likely that today's daily does not regain the 21. I think that we probably maybe close to it, and then if we see the next daily dildo open, and we actually take out the high of today's and also go back above the yellow 21 and close any sort of a decently time frame dildo above there, I'm gonna be putting on some risk once again. And like I said, my priority right now is to take profit on those on those short calls before the profit dissipates. So fair enough, but already taken quite a bit. So I'm completely happy with that. Anyways, let's go see what CMEs are looking like. I'm curious how they're doing. Have we taken out yesterday's daily dildo high? We have. Yes, we have. And have we filled the gap? Pretty damn close. Still a few bucks short, but okay. Getting there essentially. Let's go over and check out like a lower time frame, like a 2 hour. Yeah, 2 hour, you're gonna see the gap much higher. But again, I only really care about it on a daily spread, not on a lower time frame. I think a lot of people get that one wrong, especially in cryptocurrency land. You don't want to get out the magnifying glass to do it. If you have to get out the magnifying glass to do it, it's probably not going to be right. Let's go check out GBTC as well. GBTC actually did tell us further in advance than spot charts today. We watched this in the morning video, and actually GBTC filled the gap first and foremost. It sold off after it, but the more important point is that did lead spot charts to kind of charge up and fill the same area. And more importantly on GBTC, I mean, GBTC really looks like really looks like, or I guess I already have it in there. It looks like an ascending triangle is what it looks like, or it looks like it's trying to form one right now, which will have an apex, quite a bit of ways away. But you can see that yes, it's as long as we hold this trend line here, this is still bullish. I mean, again, GBTC even has a better volume signature right here. So we're looking at historical volatility percentile and also just volume signature and in confluence with price structure. I would say it's still kind of that regard. Let's go check out the expected moves chart. We did bounce off the lower standard deviation of these guys. Right around, actually a little bit below 10,000, but still okay. Let's actually go to Bitstamp here. We do see the edge of the first standard deviation to the upside is actually going to be about 11.8. I'm going to disagree with that. No, it's just I think the more important point right now is 11.1 to 11.2. If Bitcoin regains that area, it's things will change. They'll be different. It's different this time. Of course not. You know what I mean, right? You know what I mean. At least I hope. I probably don't do the best job with expressing myself all the time either. So that's also my fault. I do apologize about that. Okay. So we looked at all that. I guess we can briefly talk about the weekly because we didn't really get a chance to talk about it during this morning's video. Let's go back on over here to Bitstamp. Yeah, so last week's weekly dildo close was pretty nasty, but keep in mind, if we actually put on the 9 exponential right here, which is something that I really like to use on the longer term time frame, daily, weekly, monthly, during strong trends, you'll actually only typically come down to your 9 exponential and rally off that. And you can see that this has led to the rally to the upside the whole way. It led the dump to the downside right on over here. And sorry, this is during trending. This is when you're trending, not when you're consolidating. Well, obviously, when you're consolidating, you're going to break it. That's what it tells you. That's when it tells you it's consolidating. During this whole region right on over here, pretty much rides up the whole way up. Well, same thing on this guy right on over here, and we basically just retested it once again. So yes, the last weekly dildo close was pretty nasty, but remember, this is just creating a range right here. And when you do kind of zoom it out, which if we just take it one step further over to the monthly, I mean, I really don't have any real issues with this. It still looks fine to me. I mean, it actually looks fine. And I know I sound crazy when I say something like that, but last month was a little bit of profit taking. This month, wicking off the top 200 band once, still pretty early in the month. So I would say it's kind of coming down to crunch time, but overall, looking at our oscillators, I do see monthly Stokes very, very much erect. I do see monthly RSI back into the critical zone, back into the bullish control zone, which, to be fair, the last time that we did it was actually rejection, setting up for about a 35% move to the downside right here. To be fair, and of course, the monthly Jewel also firing off a soft buy signal as well, not a full-on buy signal, but a soft one, like a little bit of a limp one. If you know what I mean, needs the blue pill one. But more importantly, looking at price action right here, looks to me like like bulls do want to take control coming into the daily total close, and we probably do see we probably do some gun for that next area on once we get the new open. So I would keep an eye about that. Probably by the time I'm done uploading this video, it should be we should be coming into the actual close itself. So all these areas will be pre and well defined. We can go quickly look at the at the top shitcoins, but first things first, I'll just look at the Bitcoin dominance chart. I actually, and this is the first time I've been saying this in months, I actually do think whoa, that Bitcoin dominance actually shot back up and again. I do think that we are getting very close to setting in some lows on altcoins versus Bitcoin as I make sure that no water. Fuck. It's my autistic rage is coming out again. Okay, so my measure move on this guy right here, from both the flag formation going on pretty much through most of 2018 and also this little sending triangle right here, both pointed towards about 69 to 70%. And I do think that we hit this region and probably do back off on the first pass, and that's probably going to allow altcoins a little bit of a chance to breathe. And so I do think that some alts will start to rally off their current areas probably in the next few days. Whenever we hit this region right here officially, I'd be looking for that. But for right now, it's still, it's still strong. It's still kind of trending within this region. Let's look at a weekly for a second. The weekly's right at the purple 200 exponential moving average. So I do think that we are kind of, we're certainly getting there right now, and also kind of a prior swing high as well. So there will be a little counter trend pressure. But my point is that, hey, while I do think there's a little bit more pain, probably do set in lows probably in the next week or two or whatever it ends up being. I'm just going to briefly look at my index for altcoins. It's Cardano. Cardano nose diving once again, of course, as the dominance shoots back up. So this is what I was worried about during the morning stream. None of them looked like they were putting in lows this morning, but we are getting pretty damn close to that. So of course, price action first. The Bitcoin dominance chart not as important as price action, and we can still see that this thing still wants to trend a little bit lower. So yeah. Let's go check out gold really quick. Gold in a nice consolidation in and of its own, putting in a nice little bull pennant right here. I do think that we break this one up to the upside. Need to see a daily total close anywhere above about 1420-ish region would be good, and I'd be looking at a measure move towards 1465 first target, and still have the target towards about 1510 longer term. And these things will do take their time longer term, but first things first, need to see this area actually taken out, closed above, and then we can talk about that next major measure move much higher. But for right now, kind of similar to Bitcoin, although a lot more orderly and a lot more steady than Bitcoin, not as volatile as you'd imagine with an asset that is, goes back to the beginning of humanity, but similar volume signature right here, that nice orderly drop off in volume as price consolidates in a good structure. Typically that is going to beget more continuation is what it's going to do. So going back on over here, let me make sure. Let's go check out, I guess we can check out Link. Link taking it on the chin, coming back down to test this trend line. I do think that it tries to bounce off this trend line at about 24,000 Satoshis. Well, maybe it gets a wick down here to about 23.5, but as long as it doesn't break this trend line on a closing basis, I still think that it kind of walks its way up here. I'd still say that this is overall constructive over a long period of time. It's one of the few alts that actually does stand out. I guess we'll just blow through all the altcoins here. BNB chain, CZ shitcoin. Sorry, CZ amazing coin that is going to be used for all sorts of amazing things like trading other shitcoins. What? You can trade other shitcoins with this thing? Oh fuck, man! I thought this thing had real world uses. Well, I guess that is a real world use, but I'm probably gonna piss off all the fucking CZ people. Sorry, I'm just making a fucking joke, okay? Jesus Christ. But for the most part, it's used to trade other shitcoins. So it's actually one of the better use cases. People always want to trade their shitcoins, right? All right, I gotta shut my mouth before I piss off more people. Looking at this area right over, yeah, Bitcoin bouncing off pretty hard now, selling off $200 now. Okay, so Zcash coming back down. Don't want to see it break this area right here, 79 in a third. Bcash, nice move off the 200 simple. Could raise this guy up. Major resistance right here to about 350. Tron Cash, do we want to go through all this? They're all the same. Tron Cash bouncing off this bottom support right here. Once again, resistance right about 2.7. Neocash, fucking god, this is already boring. $13 resistance. We'll actually right at resistance right now. What about? Wow, it sold off pretty hard. Drastic rejection right there. Let's see. Ripple Me Nipples Cash, 31.5 cents, holding on to this glorious trend line right here. The same trend line going all the way back for another year. I do think as long as it doesn't break this area, it's okay. If it breaks this area at 30 cents even on a daily deal to close, big problems into potentially single digits. Low teens would be very likely potentially single digits. Monero Cash, $90. Actually, Monero holding up relatively well compared to most altcoins. Massive wicks, the wicks from fucking hell. But as long as we hold up above this region right here, okay, 84. Let's see, Stellar Cash, 8.5. Oh my God, Jesus Christ, man! Did we actually close the weekly below? We did close the week. We closed the weekly below the 200 simple and 200 exponential. I would not look at this one. I would probably try to not look at that one. What is Litecoin Cash doing? Bouncing up. Weekly 21 likely will be resistance right around $93. Daily being salvaged upon the 200 exponential moving average right here. I'd say you can run with a short-term bounce as long as we're above this region. Targets again around $93 to $95. Again, if Bitcoin pulls through here, Litecoin will likely as well. What about traditional marks? We didn't even look at these during, we did look at these during the morning stream. Still looking for continuation overall. Looks fine to me. It doesn't look fine to me, but it takes its time, right? It takes its time, and probably does give another move up towards and test 301. But I would be cognizant of 301 being major resistance now. 301 is kind of lining up with a lot of things, so do be cognizant of resistance right in this region right here. I'm gonna put a nice horizontal just to keep myself accountable, and that's gonna be right. Yeah, I get about a few hairs above 301. If we do break above 301, then yes, trending move once again to the upside. But it's starting to be a little bit more left to center. Anyways, back on Bitcoin, as I do want to get this video out by the time that the daily is printing. You can see that we have sold off alongside this trend line. Nice, again, trend lines. What are they fucking working? Is this magical hocus pocus shit actually working? What the fuck? But more importantly, I want to talk about the more medium term trajectory of this and the areas that I want to be aware of. And first and foremost, the big area that changes my bias once again back up to the back to bullish, where I start to take longs once again, is going to be this 21 exponential moving average right here. That is coming in right around about 11,100. I would say that's really a range between 11.1 to 11.2. It's also confluent with the gap on CMEs, which if we get back above there, that's a change of behavior. It's also a breakdown point of Saturday and Sunday. So if we get back above there, also a change of behavior. And also it's the 618 Fibonacci retracement if we put on the drawing tools right here. So if we get back above this region, that would suggest that Boston algos have picked it back on up. If they're buying the 886, they're probably going to be selling the 0.5 most likely. So again, on the shorter term. So obviously, if we do get back above this region right here, about 11.2 is what I'll refer to it as, then yes, I would be short-term, medium-term, and long-term bullish. I'd be looking for moves more immediately towards 11.7 to 11.8. Probably do bounce off there, fill out the range a little bit more. Again, mostly ranging than anything, and then probably do give a test in the upside of the range, 12,000 plus region. For right now, though, Bitcoin likely going to close the day below the 21, as we said, was likely to reject before end of day, which I feel quite confident. We're going to give I think that if it is going to give a try, it gives a legitimate try tomorrow, or sorry, on the next daily dodo, which is happening, in about 30 minutes, a little bit less than 30 minutes, about 26 minutes and 50 seconds to be exact. But more importantly, all of the lower time frame oscillators are turning around to a bullish posturing, or if they haven't already, the 1 through 4 hour already up on Stokes. As you can see right here, 4 hour RSI getting out of the bearish control zone as well. And in the 12 hour, more importantly to me, printing hidden bullish divergence, also fucking around with the exponential right there. And more importantly, we do see 12 hour Stokes down this whole way, while price action has been bought up for the last 24 hours, pretty much of action. Now, again, does that mean that I just 100% have to be bullish here? No. If we do come back down below 10.7, basically break the 4 hour 200 simple or 200 exponential, I would say that this is likely to come all the way back down to about 10.3, 10.5, and I'd probably be running with, again, I'm not going to be, bearish isn't the right term until we actually really make a lower low below this guy right here. With creating like a legitimate downtrend, but it's going to greatly increase the probability of that. More importantly, still kind of up, still kind of to be decided. But I do feel that with the resiliency of price action in this region, we are seeing more good things than bad. And I do think that if I had to give my opinion, which again I do not trade my opinion, trade technical analysis, I think that this is likely a bear trap right here with this price action below this region right here. Then we get picked up off of the very low fibs coming from our last consolidation high to low, so that will happen during very nasty traps. We've certainly seen it before. We've actually seen it before on Bitcoin as well, so I did want to talk about that. And without further ado, I guess I will leave you off there, and I'm gonna probably end up closing a lot of these short calls and take profit on that and go back to neutral, and then probably if we get above this area, probably construct along. Anyways, I do want to wish you well on this lovely Monday early evening. I'm gonna go. I'm pretty hungry, man. I want to eat some more. Bison is amazing, by the way. Whoever suggested bison, you're a fucking MVP. My God. And then I'm gonna, I don't know, probably hang out in Discord and drink some more water. So I do want to wish you well. Take care and see you soon.